Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about 7 signs his feelings are gone. Now, before you panic and you get all that anxiety, just remember that feelings can change like the clouds that move across the sky. However, behavior is going to be very important in reattracting somebody when the spark isn't there and that attraction isn't there. Now, one of the big reasons that I see this happen is if one person wants the relationship a lot more than the other, and all of these expectations and demands are placed on them. In this case, if you were putting that pressure on a guy and it feels like too much too soon, they're going to often back away. Now, I just had a call recently with a woman where the guy came on really strong, told her, I know what I want a relationship, I want commitment. Then they started hooking up briefly and his interest disappeared. He all of a sudden said, I don't know what I want, I'm so confused right now. And so I had to help her understand that a lot of times when a guy is going through this, in the beginning, he's so excited about that attraction and that lust and hooking up that he gets caught up in it. And then afterwards, he's like, now that I'm thinking more clearly about this, I'm not sure if this is going too fast. And oftentimes, if you could just calm down and relax and stop putting this demand or expectation on them, their interest level will come back up. Now, I don't want anybody to be taken advantage of or taken for granted, so you have to take it in a case-by-case situation if you think the guy is just using you, right? We don't want anybody just to get used. So you got to be careful. But sometimes guys do just get a little freaked out after they start being intimate with somebody, and then all of a sudden it feels like this big, huge commitment, and they back away. And there are a bunch of things that you can see, but I pulled out 7 today that I thought were good ones to consider. So how do you know if somebody's losing that spark and their feelings aren't there? Well, one of the big things that I think you'll see is that he's not investing into the relationship. Okay, he's not investing his time, his finances, and his energy. That's a big sign right there. Because if you're investing your time and you're spending all your time talking with somebody, it shows that you really care about that connection. You're trying to nurture it. You're trying to make it grow. You're trying to take care of it. And I've seen over the years that when a guy is really interested in someone, he's going to try and plan a lot of fun dates, do things with them, special things with them. He wants to take care of that woman. So you always want to look for that. And his energy. If you see that he's not really passionate about seeing you and that spark and that, attraction that he initially had, could be that he's losing some interest. Now, this does often tie to their mental health and their attachment styles. So you're going to see a lot of avoidance that come on strong in the early stages of the relationship. Then when it becomes about long-term attachment, they can't do it. They can't invest as much time and energy because it's all that dopamine and all the chemicals that's released in our brain that make us excited. And in time, of course, your brain is going to stay like that forever. So it's got to transition into long-term attachment. But people that are more avoidant, they really struggle with transitioning into long-term attachment because they often struggle with depression, and that's exhausting. So that has a big impact on their energy. Okay, number 2. He tells you he's not ready for a relationship. Now, sometimes they will tell you this at the onset of talking with them, and then all of a sudden you think they're going to change, or they start to act like they're going to change their mind and want it. But then as soon as things get tough again, they often say, well, I told you in the beginning I wasn't ready for a relationship. So that's a big sign that they don't have the energy for it. So that's a sign that he may be losing some interest. He may say he wants to work on himself right now. They often go hand in hand, those two things. I'm not ready for a relationship. I need to work on myself right now. And you're frustrated because you're like, wait a minute. Last week you said you wanted to marry me and have kids with me. But sometimes those feelings don't go from lust and excitement to long-term attachment. Now, of course, in long-term relationships, these things can happen as well, but sometimes the pressure and the obligation of a commitment makes a guy lose some interest. And then he'll start to act like he's confused, and he'll start to do a lot of mixed messages. But you know what this guy is like when he's really interested. Okay, so if he's not acting like that, it's a sign that he could be losing some interest in those feelings, that lust, that passion, that excitement just isn't there right now. So, but don't chase them at this point, okay? If you panic and you get anxious and you try and push, they're often going to back away. All right, this one happens a lot, pretty easy, but if you notice it, it's another sign he's losing interest. He's taking his time to reply to you. You know, when somebody's interest level is high, they're so quick to reply, but as they lose interest, they slow their time and their responses down, and it makes you crazy. It makes you anxious, and it makes you want to chase them. But don't do it. Don't do it. It's an easy way for them to get you hooked. Okay. He's out with a lot of other women, or you see him showing interest in other women around you. If a guy's really into you, he's not going to want to give interest to other women openly in front of you. Maybe he's doing it through texting. Maybe you're out with a group of people and you're seeing him do it. He's not going to do that if he's really interested in you. So if you see that, back away. Protect yourself. Make sure somebody's going to show you with their actions and their words how they feel about you. All right, another one, number 6. They only seem to want to have sex. Are they just texting you late at night? Hey, what are you doing? Come over. That's not really investing in you. Listen, if you want to hook up, that's totally fine. You know, do whatever makes you happy. But, you know, there's a difference between hooking up and something more meaningful. Now, yes, you can have just nights where you're hooking up, but I'm just saying if you're seeing these other signs with that, be careful that you're not going to get your heart broken. Because, it's kind of showing like he's texting you late at night. He's not really, making nice plans to take you to a fun evening. And, hey, what are you doing on Saturday, early in the week? And, it's just like if he can get it by making minimal effort, he will. Okay. Number 7. He seems dismissive and cold with you. It's a big sign, okay? If he seems like he's annoyed to hear from you, or he's being short with you now, curt, cold, that's a big sign that he could be losing interest. Now, if you've been blowing up his phone, it's not going to allow him the time to miss you and think about you. So yeah, that can hurt the situation. But if you've been patient and allowing him to come to you and reach out to you, then, he shouldn't be reaching out if he's being dismissive or cold. Okay, I got one more little bonus one here for you. If he doesn't listen to you, if he's not present with you, if he's distracted, if he's on his phone all the time, if he's taking calls from his friends, if he's, just online, looking at his phone instead of being present with you and into that connection, that's another sign that he's losing interest. So these are just some of the things you want to look for to see what someone's interest level is. And like I said, feelings do change. But if you come on too strong and beg and fight to get his attention, it's going to kind of teach him, I don't have to make much effort to get this woman interested. In fact, I neglect her and it does so. So if somebody's doing these things to you, invest in yourself and make sure that it's right for you. Focus on what your needs are and if he's meeting your needs. And if he's not doing so in a reasonable way, then maybe it's time to end the relationship and look for somebody who is. You don't want people to take you for granted. And a lot of times we can allow people to take us for granted when we're not really feeling good about ourselves and we're tolerating bare minimum effort. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. You can also get my creative healing course and my workbooks only on my website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.